Get ready with me for a holiday Christmas market while I rant about things that I hate in the cosmetic industry. Companies who have organics in their name and don't use any organic ingredients, or they use one or two of the cheapest organic ingredients to trick you. Companies who intentionally put water-soluble ingredients in an oil-based product as a marketing claim. You will see this with ingredients like bee venom, propolis, royal jelly, aloe vera gel, arnica even. All of these are water-soluble raw materials. So if you see them in an oil-based product, you might be getting duped. As a caveat, some water-based raw materials can be infused into oil, but that is a completely different process. And a lot of the raw materials are not bioavailable in oil. So please make sure that you check this before you buy an infusion. Anything that is whipped tallow, whipped shea, whipped olive oil, anything that is whipped in with air without a proper preservation system, you are buying air and bacteria, because when that process happens, they are folding air into the formula. So there are micro little bubbles in there trapping bacteria that gets nestled onto your skin. Also, when a whipped formula has temperature fluctuations at all, you will see that formula collapse. It's kind of like pulling a cake out of the oven a little bit too quickly, and you'll find a little sinkhole in the middle. Watch your formulas, watch your whipped shit. Using all conventional materials, calling yourself a sustainable brand. I actually got blocked from another brand for calling them out. Read your ingredient list. If a brand is marketing bee venom and they don't know how to say melatonin or apamin, I am going to just consider the fact that they may not know how to use the raw material correctly. Those are two active peptides that are living in bee venom. If a brand is using some miracle organic material that no one ever knows about, it is super secret, very proprietary, and is not listed on the integrity database, you're being duped. I'll show you the integrity database. It's a really fun thing to run your stuff through. Using essential oils from a non-vetted source. All of these oils need to come with the C of A, an SDS, a composition breakdown, an IFRA. And this is how you know what percentage of essential oils you can put on your skin. It will also tell you if those essential oils are extracted in hexane, alcohol, if they're going to be a steam distillation process. So get those documentation. And if people can't tell you where those essential oils came from, run for the hills. Ingredient foreshadowing. Ugh. You'll see this a lot with expensive raw materials like rose oil, neroli. The ingredients will be foreshadowed with something cheaper like rose geranium or an orange oil. So neroli is actually the least thing on the ingredient list, and you'll see orange oil a little bit higher. So they foreshadow the ingredients so that you get the same scent, but you don't get the benefits of having neroli or rose, or this happens with a lot of very expensive essential oils. Non-ethically sourced bee venom. I sourced my bee venom from a nature preserve in Argentina. They put little tiny platelets on the entrance of the hive that mildly stimulate 1 in 5,000 of the bees. Now, those bees get so activated that they want to figure out what is happening on that platelet. They go land on the platelet, they get mildly stimulated, they realize that this plate is not a threat, and they leave the tiniest little bit of venom behind. So that venom gets scraped up and put through a crazy purification process. I have a blog on that if you want to read it. But it doesn't harm the bees. If a company is not using ethically sourced bee venom, please don't buy it. We really need our bees and our pollinators if you ever want to eat again. So if a company is not using ethically sourced bee venom and they say that they are, they should probably go get fucked, because there's a couple of brands that I have called out for saying, oh wow, you don't have ethically sourced bee venom, and then they change the copy on their website the next day. So I should probably just start keeping my receipts so you guys can stay safe out there. Men running Mommy and Me brands. This was my biggest pet peeve while I was in the industry, because it was always some fat balding guy talking about ladies' nipples laughing around a board table. So if that could just stop, that would be great. Let's just leave it to the moms, you know? If you see a company listing fragrance on their ingredient list, but they don't list any of the allergens, it means that this raw material is likely not going to pass the EU standards, and the fragrance company is calling it a trade secret. So this trade secret, because they say that, they don't have to give you the formula or the composition breakdown or any known allergens that are associated with it. Compliant fragrance houses, they will tell you the composition breakdown with percentage ranges so that you don't get to know their trade secret, but you can understand what allergens are in their fragrance and how it can read on the ingredient list. We know. Of seed oil. Seed oils are not really a problem unless they're hexane extracted, i.e. this is a very potent chemical. If it is cold pressed, then you don't have any of those hexane residuals that are going into your oils. So you actually get higher linoleic, palmaric, stearic acids in that content form that are more shelf stable than you would from any non-seed oil. So if you've ever wanted to know more about the skincare industry or behind the scenes, give me a follow. I might be able to help you.